No one's on right now, and I'm like bored, and I don't want to study maths, so I'm gonna do this instead. So RecRoom's retiring Old Bean. Like, what are we doing? We are selling hard. I don't know why this needs to happen. It's just not needed at all. The only reason you could argue that RecRoom needs to retire Old Bean is because of technical costs. And it's hard on the art department, which I could see, as Rec Room are currently in like a really bad shithole right now, especially with the layoffs. RIP Marisa. I don't think they should deny entire player bases where to play, just so that it's easier on them. I think if we're doing that, we're pretty much cooked, if you put it that way. I mean, obviously, it could not be that way. They could just be doing it because they want to, push Newbean, which, I mean, it's worked, of course, as you can tell now. The only reason I'm on Newbean is because, one, UGC, and two, because, leagues some leagues enforce it, some leagues just, suggest it, but eventually it's going to happen to where it's only Newbean and full body, and I don't want to be the sucker who is really bad on Newbean like everyone else, so I gotta adjust to it pretty quickly. And Newbean's not even that bad. It's like, I think Old Bean is better, but Newbean isn't the worst. For some reason, my aim is better with it, but my fire rate is worse. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to Rec Room. It's not like a waste of development level on full body avatars. I mean, like, development time was wasted so hard on full body avatars. I don't know how long that took. I think it took like a year or something of development time to just focus on that. But it was just so wasted, and it could have been put into much better things. And I'm always going to hold them for that. Overall, I think like the effects of retiring Newbean is it's going to a lot of people are going to leave the game. That is just undeniable. Like, people already don't want to play Newbean, and now that they're forced to, and they already don't like the game, they're going to leave the game. Unless they're just like unhealthily addicted to it like I am. But they are going to leave, which will be bad for Rec Room, obviously. But I mean, when you see the time that it takes to make art and cosmetics for Rec Room, I guess you could see it kind of worth it. You have to cut a few losses where you can, as a company that is struggling right now. We know it's struggling because of the push of Rec Room Plus onto players, and I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, they had, to be fair though, out of all the things they could have done, body paint. Are we did ask? Like, who suggested this? Because I know I didn't, and it looks fine, I guess. I just wish Rec Room would get their shit together and not be stupid. That's all I want for this game to be. I don't mean to quote someone pretty bad, but I want this game to be great again. That's all I want. I don't mean to ramble, but it's like, it also feels so frustrating as a player that, was always on Old Bean, but now is on Newbean because he has to be. But I think it's so frustrating as like a community that people on Rec Room just don't get heard enough. And yeah, you could say like, oh, we have AMAs though, where Gribbly answers all your questions, make sure that you're heard, but he just avoids questions and doesn't really answer them. And also, you could argue creative AMAs, but let's be honest, no one really goes to creative AMAs. I didn't even know creative AMAs were a thing until it's about, a month ago, if that. And to be honest, you could argue, okay, so there's the points. Creative AMAs exist. You can answer the questions. You can ask the questions there. But it's probably it's probably just gonna be the same thing. Let's be honest. Like, they're a company who can't reveal too much, and they're devs who are already in a bad light, who don't want to be put in a worse light. They're not going to answer questions truthfully, and they're just not going to answer questions at all. That would just make them look super shitty. I mean, maybe one or two questions, but that's about it, because that's all they can take, realistically. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but it just doesn't seem realistic or benefiting economically to answer questions that's going to put you in the shitter. So I can kind of get why Rec Room won't do anything and won't answer questions and won't hear out the community. But if they just listen to us without actually answering the questions, we would know that we're at least heard. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, they act like, oh, well, we can't do this because of this. We can't do that because of that. And then they roll out Makeup Pen AI later. I had a pretty eye-opening discussion with a developer. I had a pretty eye-opening discussion. Brother. Okay, I had a discussion with a Rec Room developer over Discord in the whatever channel it is, and you know it was some pretty mad stuff, right? So it was this Discord dev called Cookie, and we were going over about makeup in AI and stuff, and she was just dodging questions. She was just dodging questions like Rec Room developers always do. So the first thing that came up is makeup in AI. Useless. Who uses it? It's quality of life, if that, and it sometimes works. It's a mess, and it's just for investors to look at. I don't get it. It wastes time on things that you could be doing better to make the game better. No point. Okay? And in reaction to that, she bounces off this whole thing of, oh, well, you know, we actually just think this is like the new best thing, and like this is awesome and all this. And like, to be honest, I don't really remember what she said because I was getting on a plane on the same day, and I really don't care what RecRoom devs have to say, apart from if it's actually good news, which it wasn't. It was just mindless yabba. But eventually, essentially, she was just dodging questions. Oh, also, it was flipping. Okay, I suggested, you know, you could be doing things like, I don't know, making a new quest, which we've been waiting for how long now? 7 years. Crazy business. Her response was, it would take about like a year to make a new quest. Okay. Bullshit. It would not take a year to make a new quest. In 2018, we had Isle of the Lost Skulls, right? Then we had Rec Royale. Then we had Scream mode, where those two were accessible on Scream mode. Okay. And then we had Crescendo. This is all in the same year, by the way. With Crescendo, with it optimized to Scream mode, with it doing all this. And I know it was optimized to Scream mode, because the first thing I ever played on Rec Room in 2018, the first day I ever joined, was Crescendo on my shitty PSVR. Holy, it was Crescendo on my shitty PS4, and I love this, bro. It was optimized, there was no lag, it was completely fine. So you cannot say it takes 1 year to make a whole quest when you made one quest, one Rec Room original, which was fucking huge, and still is there. A whole new, you made a whole new platform for Rec Room as well, and another quest on top of that, just to round the year off. What an amazing year 2018 was. But no, now apparently we can't do that because all of the other platforms. You know what? I'll give you that. Fair enough. But okay, so since then we've had Xbox, iOS, Apple, Nintendo Switch, 4, right? So that's fair enough. But I would argue it would only take about 2-3 months to optimize that. Maybe 4 months if I'm being nice. How long would it make a quest? Would it take to make a quest? I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But it would probably not be a year. That's how long it would take. Not a year. If Rec Room players can do it, you can too with Unity engine, bro. Also, stop using Rec Room Studios for Rec Room Originals. We don't want that. We want Unity. Oh my god. It's not hard to understand. So yeah, pretty much. There's all I've had in for about 2 months. Rec Room devs still don't listen. We're just forgetting about Allbean now because of technicality, art direction. It's just gonna remove players and it's gonna do all this and blah 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 blah. I think one good thing that Rec Room's doing is the store finally went back up. Like, oh my god, it took forever. And pushing Rec Room Plus. I think that's a pretty good thing. I think Rec Room Plus can be good and it can be bad. You don't need Rec Room Plus to play Rec Room. That's what's great about it. That's the one great thing about Rec Room Plus. The only thing you get from Rec Room Plus is cosmetics and tokens. And what else? Oh yeah, lower prices in shops, which it's only 10%. That's not too drastic. One thing they should introduce is Rec Room Plus Basic. Like half the price and you get half the things. Like, don't get body paint. You get like 5% off. You get 3,000 tokens every month. I think that'd be pretty good. I don't know about you. Or maybe, I don't know. That's me done. Yeah, I probably won't upload for another 2 months because I'm busy with exams. But yeah, Rec Room still needs to sort that act out. I'm not going to change that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Why does my body do that? Ugh. You bean. Ew.